Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Coach Bronson here, and today we're going to talk about 4 reasons why you don't have any energy. All right, we're going to get into some really cool stuff and talk about metabolism and nutrition and fuel and all sorts of things. But before we do that, I want to make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please do so. Click on the bell so you're notified every time I drop a new video. I do a live every Tuesday evening, and then usually towards the end of the week, Thursdays or Fridays, I drop some other type of video with information that hopefully is going to help you improve your success and help you along your journey. Okay. Lastly, I want to make sure that you please share this information with somebody that you care about. People need this information, and the more you can share it, the more we can help other people, the more benefit we all get out of improving our circles, improving the lives of the people that we care and love, that we care about and love. Okay. So that being said, let's get into the meat of it, pun intended. Because as if you know me, you know that I'm all about the meat, right? Animal-based foods are the bomb. So let's get going here. We are looking at 4 reasons why you don't have any energy. It's a problem that I hear a lot of people talk about before they try keto or carnivore, during keto carnivore. I know it was an issue that I dealt with before I started looking at my nutrition and exercise and things like that. Energy, feeling lethargic throughout the day, getting to that 2 o'clock time in the afternoon, just feeling like I'm run down all the time, not wanting to get out of bed. And just that feeling of no matter what you're trying to do, you don't have the energy, you don't have the desire just to do things. Like you just feel run down all the time. Like you could take a nap at any point in time in the day. I know I've definitely been there. So there's a few things to keep in mind when we talk about energy. Okay. If you think about it like fuel, let's think about it like gas in a car, right? There are certain things that affect the performance of an engine. Okay. And the availability of gas, right? We talk about fuel. We're talking about, the accessibility of the fuel, the cleanliness or the purity of the fuel, the performance of the engine's ability to burn the fuel, right? How much we're asking the engine to do. Like there's a handful of things that have to do with the fuel and the utilization of the fuel in our body if we look at ourselves like an engine. Okay, so let's talk about the first thing. There's 4 things we're going to talk about, 4 things that you can probably address that will help improve the energy that you have throughout the day, the energy that you have in a workout, right? One of the biggest things when we talk about just general energy expenditure and people feeling like they have energy, I see it all the time, is I need a pre-workout. What's the best pre-workout that I can have to go to get ready to do an exercise? And it's body fat, guys. You don't need a pre-workout. If you are optimized for the way that your body utilizes the fuel that's available in and of itself, okay, you don't need a pre-workout, okay? If you are optimized, if you're doing everything that you can to utilize the fuel that you're eating and what's in your body, you don't need to do things extra in order to feel good and have energy for a workout, to feel good and have energy to go play with your kids, to feel good and have energy to go do some activity, play a sport, go on a hike, take a walk, like whatever. You shouldn't need extra stuff. Your body has everything it needs. Okay. And that's the premise I want you to understand. You don't need extra. Okay. What you need to do is optimize what you have so that you can get the most out of your life. All right. So number 1, you guys have probably heard of BMR, base metabolic rate. You understand, hopefully you understand. If not, we'll talk about it. The base metabolic rate is the amount of fuel that your body burns if you're not doing anything, right? It's just a base number that we kind of look at. How much fuel does your body use? Now, here's the thing. A lot of people look at BMR and we talk about if you eat more, your BMR goes up. If you eat less, your BMR goes down. If you don't eat enough, if you're in a calorie deficit, your body goes into starvation mode, you gain weight. Like there's a bunch of stuff that goes into BMR. The one thing I want to understand is the difference between fuel and protein. Okay. Protein is not fuel. Fuel is carbs and fat. Okay. And when we talk about your body's caloric burn in a day and how efficient it is at burning calories and the effort and all the things that go into it, The BMR is a measurement of the base functionality of your body. Okay. Metabolism. Okay. We talk about base metabolic rate. Your metabolism is essentially another word, another phrase, another way to look at your metabolism is how well is your body functioning? Okay. And by functioning, I'm talking about burning fuel for sure, but we're also talking about managing hormones. We're talking about organ function. We're talking about liver function. We're talking about hair growth, nail growth, muscle protein synthesis, okay, regeneration and recovery, autophagy, gut health, mitochondrial performance, right? All of these things go into your metabolic performance, your metabolic efficiency, or otherwise known as your base metabolic rate. Okay. It's not just how much fuel do we burn. And this is something I want you to understand, because when we talk about having energy, what we're talking about is does my body have enough of the tools that it needs in order to function properly? Okay. It needs two things. Your body needs two things to function properly. It needs fuel and it needs protein. Okay. Protein is the building blocks. Protein is the stuff, the oil that helps the engine run. Fuel is the energy that keeps the engine going. Okay. Two very different things. I can technically, and this has been done, if you do some Googling, do some research and look at, it is possible to function solely on an intake of protein and never not eat any fuel. Okay, it's been done. There have been people that have gone on fasts. We call it a fast, on a fuel fast, where they didn't eat any or minimal amounts of fat or carbs, and they ate just a protein diet because they had enough body fat on their body. Okay, where they basically ate protein and then added vitamins and minerals, right, to make sure that they're getting a full, complete nutrient load, but they were not intaking fuel, and they survived for a year. They did great. They lost a ton of weight. Their body composition improved. Their overall health maintained. It's possible. And because the protein and the lean mass that the protein promotes is the driver for your base metabolic rate. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Protein and the lean mass that protein promotes is the driver for your base metabolic rate. The things that utilize the most energy in your body have muscle, use muscle. Okay, so the more muscle that you have, the more things that you're doing to promote muscle growth and muscle utilization, the more efficient and the more energy that you're going to use and expend. Okay, so your base metabolic rate will change less the more muscle that you have, regardless of your fuel intake. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. It is possible to have the energy that you need, whether it's on your body or whether it's something that you're eating. Okay, as long as you maintain lean mass and you're getting enough protein. Okay, and that's the key. Your intake that you need to maintain consistent energy starts with keeping your engine running at a baseline first. You're going to be lacking energy. You're going to not have enough energy to do other things if you're not getting the baseline of what you need just to keep your metabolic function running the way that it needs to run. Okay. So if the baseline is I need enough protein and I can intake some fuel, okay, protein being the key. If you're not getting enough protein, you're not going to have the energy. You're not going to have that baseline function of your metabolism that supports the other activities that you want to do in the day. Okay. Protein and lean mass drive your metabolic performance. I want you to keep that in mind. Okay. That's number one. Okay. Eat more protein. Okay. Support those things that's going to help your body become more efficient, which is something we'll talk about in a minute. Okay. At utilizing the fuel that you have. Okay. That's number one. Okay. Your base metabolic rate needs to be maintained. Second thing, Understand how the storage works, okay? And storage is important because when we talk about the storage of fuel, we're talking specifically about carbs and fat now. We need to understand that one has more storage than the other. Your body has less storage for carbs, your body has more storage for fat. What does that mean and why is that important? If you are intaking carbs, if you are still eating carbs, if you are not trying to become adapted, which we'll talk about in a second and how that matters, then your body needs continuous replenishment of a fuel, carbs, in order to have energy. Okay? So the more carbs you intake, the more carbs you need, and the less energy you have that is long lasting throughout the day. Carbs have less storage, they burn faster, they create more inflammation. Okay? Less storage, they burn faster, they create more inflammation. Okay? So you need more of it consistently input throughout the day. That's why traditional nutrition guidelines are eat 3 to 6 times a day, because you need to continuously replenish that store. Okay, that energy. It burns faster. Okay, it's there and it's gone. If you're not continuously replenishing it, okay, number one, there's no storage and it burns faster, so it's gone a lot faster. It doesn't last as long, so you get spikes and drops. That's where you crash and burn throughout the day, right? I've got all this energy and then I got all this energy and then, okay, it's not consistent. What we want is consistent energy throughout the day. And then inflammation, oh my gosh, the inflammation aspect of it is it's adding stress and it's making your body do extra work. So not only is it burning up faster, but you have to do more work to process it. And it creates more stress on the body. So the net benefit of carbs is actually less. Okay. So those are three. Now, when we talk about fat, when we talk about the storage capacity of fat, it's nearly unlimited. Okay. You get more energy per gram of fat than you do for carbs. And the inflammation, the oxidative stress that carbs or that fat generates is way less. So it lasts longer. It burns slower. So you have a more consistent level of energy. Okay. You get more out of it. So that level of energy is higher. Okay. And it doesn't cause as much inflammation or interference, is another word, to the performance of your body. Sounds to me like fat is a better option. Okay. Being fat adapted is amazing for your level of energy. So if you are having cheat days, if you are cycling, if your carbs are higher, okay, and carbs, guys, I say carbs, but really it's carbs / processed foods. The more you can stay with whole foods, the better you're going to be. If it's processed, there's going to be things in there that aren't beneficial, period. Okay? So the more you stay away from carbs and processed food, the more you stay into whole foods and healthy fats, the better off you're going to be. Okay? The more energy you're going to have. All right? That's two things. Third thing, access, adaptation, and efficiency. The more adapted you are, okay, the better your access to the fuel is going to be. Okay? I start using good fuel. I'd say I get rid of the carbs. I'm not doing carbs anymore. I'm using fat now. Okay? It's going to take time to adapt. There's several levels to that adaptation. Okay? First level is what I call general adaptation. It takes anywhere from 5 to 12, 14 days for most people, somewhere in that range. 10 days on average, probably. And that is just getting to the point where you get through that keto flu. You feel like you have energy. That fog lifts from your head. And you feel like you can start doing more things. You have energy throughout the day. You don't feel lethargic, et cetera, et cetera. The next level is for activity and exercise. Usually the more in shape someone is, the longer that transition takes. But anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks it can take for your workouts, for the physical activity that you're doing on top of day-to-day stuff, starts feeling better. Okay, there's usually a little dip in performance, and then things kick up where your performance feels better. The work that you're doing, your strength, your endurance, your stamina, all that stuff goes up. Your strength, your recovery improves. You can do more work without feeling sore. All that stuff happens because your body has now become efficient at utilizing fat for fuel. So the longer you can stay in a fat only or a severely reduced carb environment, the better your adaptation is going to be, and the more energy you're going to have throughout the day. Because now we're talking about accessing it. You get better at accessing it. Remember, your body's going to do and get better at the things you make it do. So the longer you can stay adapted, the longer you can keep carbs low or completely out of your life, the better you're going to do when it comes to energy throughout the day. Okay? So we've got get the protein, focus on lean mass, okay? Keep your base metabolic rate high, right? Make sure that you're focusing on fat because fat is a better source of fuel from a storage perspective. It's burns slower, right? And it causes less interference, less inflammation, okay? The longer you can do that, the better you're going to get at utilizing the fat. So you're going to have a good metabolic function. You're going to have access to good fuel, and you're going to be efficient at using that and accessing that fuel, okay? Then the fourth thing that we're looking at is make the stuff that you're doing throughout the day easier, okay? This is where the marriage of nutrition and fitness come in. You guys know I love talking about how important fitness and nutrition are together, okay? The more you can improve your fitness, the easier your day-to-day activities are going to be, which means you have less of a requirement for fuel, so the fuel that you have will go longer. So not only is fat already slow burn, not only is fat already more energy per gram, but if you get more physically, if you improve your physical ability, you can make it go longer because you have to use less to do the same amount of work. Okay, so from a fitness perspective, it's something we call relative intensity. Okay, if I have to expend X amount of energy to lift 100 pounds now, and then I get in shape, I get stronger, I improve my ability to lift that weight, I can use less energy to lift that 100 pounds. I can now make my work go longer. I can lift it 2 times now instead of once. Okay, using the same amount of energy, let's say, right? That works from a strength perspective, that works from an endurance perspective, that works from a stamina perspective. If you sit at a desk all day long, you are still using energy. You're still trying to maintain your posture. You're still using mental energy. There's a lot of physiological effects of even just sitting at a desk all day long that require an improvement in your physical ability so that you can manage your health and manage your metabolism better. Okay? So from a reduction in effort perspective, anything that you can do to improve your strength, your stamina, your endurance is going to improve the energy that you have throughout the day because you're reducing the effort it takes to do things, right? It's really that simple, okay? Fitness with access to good fuel and abundant fuel and slow burning fuel that keeps you at a baseline instead of spiking and crashing, okay? Having a healthy metabolism, keeping that base metabolic performance at a good level by eating enough protein and building lean mass, right? You see how this all works together? Eat protein, exercise, build lean mass, maintain your metabolism, access to fuel that fuels the whole process, and keep doing it in a circle. Your energy problems will completely disappear. All right. I hope that breaks it down for you guys. If you have any questions, as always, please ask questions, comment on this video, get in my Facebook group. It's Apex Health and Fitness Keto Carnivore on Facebook. Shoot me a message, whatever you want to do. I love talking to you guys. If you have questions, suggestions on things that you would love me to talk about, let me know. In the meantime, subscribe, share this video. If anybody that you know is having issues with energy, then this would be a great way to get them started, point them in the right direction. Hopefully it helps. See you.